Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Find Out Friday. I'm Karen Burns from Flying Start. The last few weeks, we've focused on 3 different addition problem types in order to build flexibility in mathematics. The first one we talked about was result unknown. The second one, change unknown. And the one we're thinking about today, and we'll look a little bit closer at, is called start unknown. Just to recap, result unknown is when we have 2 add-ins. Like here, we have 3 plus 5, but the sum is missing. So the sum is unknown. The result is unknown. That's the easiest math addition problem type to solve. Next, we have change unknown. Change unknown is when you're missing the change, the second add-in. For example, here we have 3 plus something makes 8. So we have the result. We have the start, which is 3. We just don't know what happened in between there. Similar to this, we have today start unknown. Start unknown is a lot like change unknown. You can solve them the same way, but start unknown means the beginning add-in is missing, the start. So something plus 5 equals 8. Here's an example. Raccoons are mostly nocturnal, so they travel around at night. In 2 nights, this family traveled 8 miles. The first night, they traveled a few miles. The second night, they traveled 5 miles. How far did the raccoons travel the first night? Well, the first thing we have to do is think about what we know and what we're trying to find out. So we know they traveled for 2 nights. And the family traveled a total of 8 miles. So we know that 8 is our result, right? 8 is our sum. We also know that the first night they traveled a few miles. Now, we don't know what a few is, do we? So that's an unknown. So our start is unknown. The second night they traveled 5 miles. So we know that they traveled 5 miles. We know that the sum, the result, is 8 miles. We know the first night is the unknown. We know that we need to figure out what the first night, how many miles they traveled the first night. We know the second night they traveled 5 miles. What we're trying to find out is how far the raccoons traveled the first night. So we can do this, we can solve this the same way we solved change unknown problems. We can start with the known, which here is 5, and count on until we get to the result, which is 8. So we can start at 5 and count on 6, 7, 8. And we can see then that 3 is the number of miles they traveled the first night. Now we can also do this using subtraction. We can start with the result, which is 8, and we could subtract the known, which is 5 miles, the amount of miles they traveled the second night. So if we say 8 and we take away 5, we have 3. So we can solve start unknown problems the same as change unknown. However, start unknown is a little bit trickier for a lot of kids that are just learning math. So it's important, though, that they still have exposure to start unknown problems, even if they are a little tricky. A challenge is good. We'll see you next time on Find Out Friday. Don't forget to visit us at getaflyingstart.com. We have some new classes that have started in January, including a Learn to Read class called Foundational Reading, and we hope to see you soon.